Hey guys, welcome to another edition in our Make 2024 Count webinar series. And like I've always said, make 2024 count, make your life count. And today we have the delectable Amaka Chukwuma in-house to teach us how to become a successful content writer. You know, she's got a track record in this space, and I got her by the grace of the Almighty. I'm grateful, Amaka. Thank you for always coming through for the House of Wisdom. So without further ado, I just want to start by saying that I checked up content creation industry statistics, and I saw content hacker saying that it's worth 400 billion USD. And for me, that's huge, and I use that to promote it all over. And you can also do that as our audience this afternoon. That's basically what we want you to know. But then the know-how is what Amaka is going to bring to us this afternoon, and it's going to be a Q&A all through. But before then, let me quickly introduce her. Amaka Chukwuma has 4 years of experience as a personal finance writer, specializing in brand and media publications. They have attracted clients from numerous countries through effective self-marketing. And for those of you that want to know self-marketing, do watch our video, our live stream 2 days ago on Monday, where we talked about building a profitable personal brand in 2024. Still talking about Amaka. Amaka is a current contributor and reporter for the American online magazine Wealth of Geeks. Amaka covers finance and trending topics across various niches with a passion for empowering writers. She provides they provide insightful advice on marketing oneself in the industry, sharing practical strategies and success tips to help us all. And so you are in for a ride if you're on this live stream. Thank you, Evergreen Naturals. I know you have been in the room before we started, because I saw this comment long before Amaka even joined, and I'm so grateful you could join. Thank you. You said you are patiently waiting, and now we are here. We want to know where you are joining us from, and if you are here, please let's know where you are joining us from, because this is going to be a ride. It's going to be a bumper edition of our streams of live streams, or series of live streams. So without further ado, let me say, Amaka, you are welcome to this live stream.
Thank you so much for having me, Yabo. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start the year, really, because we want to start the year, we want to start it running. We want to begin making or having successes from the word go this year. So yes, it's a good thing we are here, and I think it's a great way to start the year.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I wanted to start from the basics, and which is, how did you get into content writing, and how has the journey been for you?
Okay, so I think I've always loved writing, but I think for me, getting into content writing was the realization after staying at home. Realization a lot of us came into. I think COVID was the turning point for everybody. So after sitting at home for a while, I was teaching, and then I was thinking that wow, that can you imagine that COVID actually affected teaching jobs? Then I was wondering what else could I do, so that at least I could work remotely, and at least even with challenges like COVID, I can actually still get one or two things done and earn money. So what I did was I began to upskill and just started looking for opportunities. I just put myself in the market, started applying for jobs, and that was it for me, really.
Awesome. And so I saw that you talked about self-marketing. Can you describe in specifics what you did when it comes to self-marketing, which has got you this far? And self-marketing can also be called personal branding, but just talk about
Yes.
self-marketing. I think that is what we have in your intro.
Okay, so first and foremost, I would always say that it is always important for you to put yourself out there. One thing I know I did very well, was sending cold messages to people inbox to ask if they actually needed um a content writer on LinkedIn. So I used to do a custom search for content writing jobs, and then I would I'll see hiring posts, and then sometimes I inbox them directly to say, do you still need somebody for this post or for this role? And then another thing I did was I actually applied for jobs. That was what I did. I used to I even still do have newsletters that comes into my inbox, weekly. So usually I always go through the job specifications they have, entries they have rather, the job entries they have, and I actually apply. Okay. Then again, what I did was talk about what I do. Right. At that time, I wasn't quite a professional, but I was always talking about my journey. Like, okay, what I observed, certain things I observed, trying to self practice and self publish. So what I did was I write things on LinkedIn, I publish them. I write things on Medium and I publish them. Okay. So another thing I did was to join groups, writing groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. I mean, Facebook especially, where you would have a community of, usually it was women. Most of these groups are for just women only. And then there, sometimes I'll write posts to say, oh, I'm actually looking for a job, and I'll put out what I can actually do and niches I was interested in, because at the time I was not even sure where I wanted to pick as a niche. Okay. So sometimes when they tell you to pitch, sometimes when they tell us to pitch or they call for pitches, I always try to research to find out certain things that I feel the publication will find interesting, and then I pitch about that topic. So I had to learn how to pitch. So these are various ways I actually marketed myself, LinkedIn and various other platforms like that.
Awesome. Which brings us to the point where we can say networking is powerful if you want to be a successful content writer in 2024.
You can say that again. Actually, networking is very, very, very important.
And I have heard from people who tell me, look, Iyabo, there are people out there who are practicing as writers who are not too good, but they are there, they have the opportunity because they can market themselves.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. I think the people who are successful are the fearless ones, people who are not afraid. Like I always say, don't be afraid. In fact, I always tell people that don't wait till you are ready before you start putting yourselves out there. I know a lot of times I did a lot of things afraid. I was so afraid, but I will still do it anyways, because I always tell myself, what's the worst case scenario? Just know, will it kill you? No, it won't kill me. So and besides, I'm behind my computer. They don't know me. So why are you afraid? I mean, she's just some bloody girl, so nobody's going to think about you right after they see your application or whatever. Nobody's going to think about it. They'll just say, "Oh, we don't need it. We don't need it." They're not going to go ahead sleeping over one Amaka Chukwuma that sent them a message. It's all bygone. So I always tell myself, look, don't overthink things. The world does not revolve around you, So just do your thing. Is what I always tell people. Do it afraid. That is just so you have to be really courageous to do these things. Even yesterday, I applied for another job. I still did it afraid, like, oh, are you sure I am qualified? Because you always keep telling yourself you're not qualified, but it's a lie. You are. You are more prepared than you think. So I just apply. I just make sure that I do a banger cover letter and a banger CV. I always rework my CV for every job application I send out, because to me, that's a good way to market yourself, your CV and your cover letter.
Awesome. So I picked some things from what you just said. Market yourself before you are ready. Customize your pitches to each client, your cover letter, and also your resume or CV, depending
Yeah,
on which one you ask for. Okay. And then you also said, do it afraid. Courage matters a lot because you are going to be dealing with people who are CEOs of companies, and you've got to have courage to be able to push yourself out there. And so
absolutely. Yeah.
if you are watching, please note that courage. Do it with audacity. There was this year that I read a newsletter by one of our top freelance writers in Nigeria, and she said this was a year of audacity. And that is it. You got to be able to step out
That is
big.
it. That is
Yeah.
it. That's it.
You got to step out big because nobody will
Yes.
come for you. You got to toot your
That's
horn.
yeah, you have, like I said it in the last, I think the last meeting we had, the last
Yeah,
webinar we had, I said that you should toot your own horn. Nobody's going to toot your horn for you. So if you're a
exactly.
modest person, if you are naturally a modest person, it might be a little difficult. Might be a little difficult for you to come out of that, that your comfort zone to say, okay, normally you always downplay certain things. Oh no, it's not really like that. Don't downplay, my dear. Just do it. So you have to toot your own horn. So right now, just leave modesty alone. Like, you need to be proud of what you think you have, your skill, and nobody knows what you have really. Only you know what you have. So you have to put it out there.
Awesome. Just do it. Like Nike will always say, don't wait for perfection. Nothing is perfect in this side of eternity. We are all doing what? Progressing ahead of perfection. You grow. You grow, you grow. Yeah. So thank you for that. If you are on this live stream, please let us know where you are joining us from so we can give you a virtual hug. Our guest speaker is already in the house and she's on the hot seat as it seems, but she's gliding, as in, she's gliding.
I'm okay.
I am so
I
and I'm so grateful to have her this afternoon. And then I also wanted to ask that because you talked about mindset, because you never ever get to the point where you feel you are okay. You will always doubt yourself. And so, what have you done as regards that? I just want to know what you have been able to do as regards the doubts that creep in when you want to apply for a new job. How have you been able to manage the mindset aspect of this business?
Imposter syndrome is never going away. I thought when I started writing, I was like, oh well, when I'm like 3 years, 4 years into this career, I'm going to be a lot more confident. But yeah, the confidence is there. Yes, it has improved, but it has not killed the imposter syndrome. So you find out that you have to be struggling with imposter syndrome all through your career. So one thing I usually do is just to really reaffirm myself, to like reassure myself that I can actually do what I have done. And many times I always think through my journey and how far I have come, and I tell myself, so did imposter syndrome have anything on you? And I'll tell myself, oh no, it didn't. So I just keep reminding myself that, look, you shouldn't doubt your abilities, really, especially if there is no reason to doubt your abilities.
Okay, we seem to be having issues with our
Okay, yeah,
connection with Amaka. I'm sure she will be back with us. And in the meantime,
I think
I
I'm
wanted,
here.
yeah, you are here. We can hear you now.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You are clear. You are clear
Can you
now.
see me now?
Yeah, I can. I can see you.
Am I live now again?
Yeah, you are live. So you were
Okay.
talking about imposter syndrome.
Yes, so I was saying that, yes, especially when you do not have any reason to doubt yourself, right? That you shouldn't you shouldn't dwell on it. Okay, you should always move against that current of imposter syndrome. Like imposter syndrome usually would say, don't do this, but go the other way and do it regardless. So, but if you have good reasons to say, okay, I think I'm lacking in something, then it's important for you to face the elephant in the room at the point, as it were, and tell yourself, look, I have to work on this part of me if there are reasons to believe so. So it is something that you need to be very objective about. Okay, be very objective about it. Is there a problem? Is there a real problem? If you see that there's a real problem, obscure, okay, so that your anxiety, it will allay your anxiety. If you're doing something about it, yeah, that means you're working on the problem, okay. But you cannot just sit down worrying about imposter syndrome because there is a real danger somewhere. Okay, the danger will not go away. Okay, and the option is not to give up or give in. Okay, the only option you have is to keep going. So you need to upskill to say, okay, I think I need to improve this part of me. So I would always say that in 2024 going forward, we need to upskill. And the truth is, in every career, because of the fast changing um scenarios we have around us in the world, the scene of the world is always changing. It happens in every area, in business, in every field. Okay, so there's always a need to upskill. There's always a need to learn new things. So if you feel that you're lacking in something, I think instead of allowing that allowing imposter syndrome to leverage that weakness you have, I would always suggest that you go head first and solve that problem. Okay, take a practical approach to say, okay, how can I improve? It doesn't mean that you cannot be better. That's not the end of the world. So that's what I would always say.
Awesome. I love that. Upskill, upskill, because we deal with a lot of young adults, and I'm constantly telling them your certificate from school is not enough. Learn new things, go for certifications. It will not kill you.
It will
Have
not
you
really. It will
yeah, you
not.
will have it as an added bonus to your qualification from school. Awesome. Okay, so I wanted, I'm casting my mind back to when you started. I started doing cold pitches and talking to people on LinkedIn and stuff like that. And I'm like, were you overwhelmed at some point before you got your first yes? I'm just casting my mind back there.
Yes, I was a little overwhelmed. I was because things were really picking up slowly. I think my first client was a Nigerian, and I even got him through my brother. My brother he met my brother to say, "Oh, please, I want to write so and so for my website." And my brother was like, "Okay, I think my sister has a better skill when it comes to copywriting." And then that was how I got my first job, and it was in Nigeria. But my real job, because my target audience was actually people abroad, because I knew we have a better readership audience there. Plus, the dollar naira rate, it's a no brainer. You want to earn in dollars, so it was quite difficult. And sometimes on LinkedIn, it's as though you're not being heard, right? Like your voice is really quite tiny. You are in the midst of a swarm, like a swarm of other, other fishes or other, like a school of other fishes. So if you're not careful, it feels like you're really doing nothing, like pouring a drop of water in an ocean. So at the time, so the challenge was that, oh, where's your portfolio? Where's your portfolio? That was another challenge. And sometimes even network again. Okay, so having a couple of LinkedIn published works or Medium published work was not even enough. So it was really, really, really. Sometimes it was draining. Sometimes it was as if, oh God, Aisha will not stop. But sometimes I think this is where luck comes into. Sometimes too. I just I just applied for one job for a Russian firm, Beloved No Code, and that was how I got it. It was not even cold pitching that got me there. It was not even all the things I was doing on LinkedIn that got me there. It was just sending my CV and marketing myself. I'd done a free write up for a friend's website in Nigeria about content marketing, and I did all of these long posts with screenshots because that was the in thing then in content writing. You illustrate with a lot of examples and all of that. I did all of that, and it was a long form post. I practiced that on my own. It's just that I leveraged my friend's website. So I published it and my name was there. So that was what gave me that job. Like I started practicing on page SEO. And then I told them that, look, I'm an SEO person. I know how to do SEO copywriting. I know how to use keywords. I know how to use secondary keywords, primary keywords. It was just that my cover letter. And then they just said, okay, fine, we're going to work with you. At first, they told me to write a sample piece. And I told them, well, this word count you want me to write for a sample piece is too much because I've been burned several times. I don't want to write a sample piece and then you never get back to me. So I said I was going to do the first 300 words for them. And that was what I did. I sent it to them and they were impressed and they brought me on board. So that was exactly how I got my first job. So subsequently, it's been pitching, asking people, do you want me to come and work for you? That's how it's been. And then applying. That's how I've been getting my jobs.
I get that. I can totally relate to the bit on not just doing free pieces that they don't get back to you on. I get that part, and I also wanted to emphasize this because someone may be watching who is almost giving up on his or her dream, and we want to encourage you, keep going. If it has happened for Amaka, it will happen for you. If it has happened for all the content
Absolutely.
writing giants out there, it will happen for you. Don't give up on yourself yet.
Please
So
don't
when
give
it
up
comes,
on yourself.
yeah, sure, thank you. So when it comes to portfolio, what would you advise people who are beginners in this space?
Okay, for portfolio, I would I would say that if you have opportunities to write for free for a very decent site that you know, okay, a presentable site, like if you know that if you tell people, look, I've written for this site, it will definitely get you your gigs, it will get you a job, or it will impress people enough to say, okay, let's see what you can do. Please do it. Okay, do it. Like sometimes you may even be lucky to have somebody under you, somebody you'll be under who would actually teach you how to be a better writer. In my case, that was what happened too. Even after I got that paid job, after like the second, I think this the second piece, freelancing is a roller coaster. They ghosted me. I just didn't hear from them. I don't know why they didn't want me to work with them. They didn't say anything to me. Okay, so I had to move on. After that first job, the second job I got, I had to apply for an intern position and it was unpaid. But the trade-off was that I was going to be working under somebody who has been a journalist for a while, for a long time. So I had to learn journalism writing, how to write news, how to report, how to interview people, and how to translate that into a good story. Okay, so I was doing journalism really for them. And you can imagine that I was coming from content marketing because I really wanted to do content marketing, but somehow I delved into journalism. So another thing I would want to emphasize here is flexibility. You need to be really flexible. Okay. And that's why I usually don't like to emphasize so much on mission. While you might tell yourself that okay, I want to have a mission, but when you are starting out, I think you really have to be flexible for you to be successful before you can now say, okay, I've gotten to a level in my profession where I want to say this is where I want to be. So I started doing journalism there. Okay, so over the years too, I noticed that I've done more of journalism and reporting than even product marketing and product writing with content. Okay. If you notice I think last week or last week, I said something about this year. I want to focus on content marketing. I want to do
Yes, I saw
product
it.
marketing.
Hmm.
Yes, you saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've done a lot of publication writing. I've done a lot of reporting. These people I work with presently, or should I say, because our contract actually ended already, it was publishing I did for them. Most of the time it was reporting. I did Associated Press pieces for them. All right. And then they put it into the Associated Press wire. That's why I call myself a syndicated writer. And then you see that piece I've written, you see it in several other, magazines, newspapers around the US. Okay. And most of those places, when you go there to read my piece, they'll tell you that you need to subscribe. It's behind the paywall. So but now, this time around, I know a lot of people right now, people do product journalism. People want to open a publication for the product and service that they offer. So that's the kind of thing I want to do right now.
It's awesome. I love to hear about your journey. And one thing I picked from what you just said is be flexible. No matter what you do, and no matter what it is you aim to do in this field, be flexible. Don't have a fixed mindset because then you throw away some opportunities that can lead to growth, right? So I got
Opportunity.
that.
Yeah.
I already had it as a question, but you already answered because I wanted to ask what you think about mentors, writing coaches who will tell you you got to have a niche from the get go. And you already did justice to that. Thank you so much. So I wanted to ask, what's the difference between content writing and copywriting? Because newbies are usually confused. They are like they can't even place the difference.
Yeah, it's really hard to. In fact, it's not just them. Even companies who are looking to hire any of us. They don't even know what they want. They'll tell you copywriting. And then when you go into the meeting, they'll tell you find out that what they need is a content writer. Someone will say they want a content writer. And then when you go in, you say, copywriter. Okay. So the thing is, now these days, people actually have started using them interchangeably, like anyone copywriting or copywriting, like, it's good. So the thing is, copywriting, the real difference, like traditionally, the real difference is copywriting has to do with selling instantly. Like you want to sell now. Like you want people to read your copy and take an action now, and it is to buy. Okay, it is to buy. But content marketing or content writing has to do with building an audience, gaining their trust, and selling to them. Okay, so for content writing, you're actually solving a problem like answering a question. Okay, seeing their pain points to say, okay, your products can solve several problems. Okay. Now, content writing is going to take all of these problems, the nitty gritty of these problems, the very nitty gritty of them. There could be 1 million, there could be 2 million, there could be 100, right? And make content for each of these problems. Okay. And make you understand what you are facing and how you can navigate this problem. Okay. So in the end, they may tell you buy my product or not. Okay. But the idea is to say, look, come to my website and get help without even buying my product. You don't need to buy my product. Just get help. Okay. So somebody can say, oh, I want to buy a phone. And then you say, what kind of phone should I buy? Okay, let me just read reviews of phones. And they come to your website and they keep reading several phone reviews, like, okay, they are talking about this particular phone. You might have a problem in mind, really. And you might say, okay, you might have a question to say, okay, if I am somebody that likes to game a lot, what kind of phone do I need? And then you go on that website, they actually have that question there, and they've explained to you, oh, this is the phone you might need. Funny enough, they might not even have that phone that you might need. They might not have the phone that you might
Yeah.
need. No, they might not have it, but they'll tell you, really, this is the kind of phone we need. You need, really. They don't have that phone, but they've helped you, right? You might go elsewhere to buy it, but the truth is, when you need the kind of phone that they have, y- you would not tell yourself that, oh, these people actually helped me select a phone the last time. When you need the phone that that they actually sell, you likely would go back there to buy because they've been helpful to you in the past. Or you'd also likely refer people to say, oh, actually, I wanted to get this kind of phone. Oh, I now stumbled on this site. They were the ones that now told me that, oh, this kind of phone is better for what I want to do. But they sell this kind of phone you have. And that is it. So content writing is a long-term game, but copywriting is a short-term game. Like, look, I want you to buy this my sunscreen. They will just tell you everything about the sunscreen, what you need, the problem that you solve. They will not tell you, oh, they are selling for this screen sunscreen is actually supposed to be $100,000, but because now they understand that people really need this. Oh, now it's selling for $1,000. So buy now. So that is copywriting. That's just different. So copywriting
I
wants
get. Thank you so much for the explanation. It makes a lot of sense. And I
yeah.
also wanted to ask you one. By the way, if you're on this live stream and you're enjoying this conversation, be sure to subscribe. Hit the subscription button now because we've got so many live streams planned out. We've got interviews with notable experts like Amaka this afternoon, who will come and share from their wealth of experience. And so hit the subscription button now because we've got lots of value coming your way. Please do that and let's know where you are joining us from. So the next question I wanted to ask Amaka was that, some people will tell you focus more on the marketing aspect of this job and less on the writing. Do you agree with them?
Yeah, it depends on the niche or depends on the area. Because if you are doing publication writing, you have to focus on the writing. But if you are doing writing for products, yes, you have to focus on the marketing really. Because it's not just writing. You're going to be merging a lot of creativity because you want to understand people's pain points and you want to lead them to buy. And content marketing is not a forceful thing like copywriting. It is a gradual process. So you're taking them on a journey. Okay. So yes, you need to focus on the marketing part of it. So if you're writing for publications, you need to focus on the writing part of it because really you're not marketing anything really. You're telling stories, you're reporting, so you need to know your audience and then you need to understand how you want to write, to understand, it's not like you will not focus on the writing here, but you need to balance writing and marketing so that you can get the desired goal that you need.
Yeah, so in essence, you can say let's do 50-50, right? I
Yes,
think that makes a
yes,
lot of sense. Yeah.
yes, it
Awesome. Okay,
does.
so I also wanted to ask that you are constantly upgrading, and recently you became a tech SEO specialist. And I'm like,
Yes.
why did you go into this area of specialization, and how has the journey been for you?
Okay, so I noticed that as a freelancer, you're constantly anxious about where your next meal is coming from. Like, what if I lose this gig? What am I going to get? So my last job was not really funny because I was always on the edge, always anxious. Like, look, I might just lose this job tomorrow, because a lot of us who got in there, I saw that I think I stayed there the longest. Like, I stayed there for 1 year, 7 months. I knew a lot of people, even people I even referred to abroad who stay over there. They still had this. They fell along the way. They just left because they'll tell you, "Oh, we don't want you again." So that's the life of a freelancer. So I got really anxious, and I told, like I always tell you, I said the last time, if you begin to get anxious about anything, whether imposter syndrome, do something about it. So what I did was, okay, I said, okay, I think writing might not be very scalable, so I think I need to do something on the side that will work with my writing so that I'll add value to what I already have. So I tried to do tech SEO. I've always liked tech SEO, and I already knew the nitty-gritties of one-page optimization. I used to you know, I used to tell people that, or I used to present myself as a copy SEO copywriter at the time. So I understood what SEO copywriting is. So I said, okay, let me do the technical part. Let me see what it is. And I got an opportunity to intern. So in fact, I got free courses from several places. They were supposed to be paid. And so I decided to upskill. I learned tech SEO. I did a mentorship program with the Freelance Coalition for Developing Countries, and that was how I got my internship position. And then now I'm a full time with them.
Oh,
So
awesome. I love that. And so, what will you tell our young adults about upskilling, upgrading their skills? Because we deal more with young adults in House of Wisdom.
yeah, it's definitely something you should always think about. Upskill, you just need to, because writing has become saturated really. Because I know it was easier to be a writer back when I started, but now I think it is getting a lot more difficult considering to the invent of AI. It's not been really easy for writers. Okay, so upskilling, and really you can leverage AI to do that. You can even learn how to use AI. It's one of my points, like leverage how to use AI, like ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my friend, like my friend, like my personal assistant. So I use it to brainstorm. I use it to do a lot of things. So I need you to that is one way you can actually upskill. Learn how to use AI. Like, know how to use your prompts. Don't go relying on these prompts that they sell outside to say, oh, prompts on how to write, prompts on how to do this. No, don't do that. Because I'll say this. ChatGPT is it's just like it's just like humans. Like, sometimes he's in the mood to talk, sometimes he's not in the mood to talk. Sometimes he's in the mood to say rubbish, sometimes he's in the mood to be very good and say, we can give you what you want. So one prompt is not enough to get what you want from ChatGPT. I don't know how many prompts is enough for, because some days it can be really good, some days it can be very bad. You need to have conversations with it. You need to tell it to ask you questions to clarify what you want it to do so that it can give you the results you want. So learn how to use ChatGPT, learn how to converse with it so that you can get the right results for yourself and be productive. So AI is a very good thing, really. I don't know. I have never badmouthed it. I've never badmouthed AI. The only reason I badmouth AI is when people use it outrightly without putting the humanness in it. But if you know how to use it ethically, AI is a good friend. So I think be friends with AI so that you stay relevant I was telling somebody the other day that I really need to do a course in prompt engineering. And he was like, why? I said, because this AI is becoming something else, and I think it's something I can key into. Now we have people they call prompt engineers. Are you aware of that? So it's really a thing you can actually say, oh, okay, I think I should do something like that. You are muted.
Yes, I can relate to what you just said. I know about prompt engineers, and it's a good thing to do if we want to take advantage of the AI technologies out there, including ChatGPT. Okay, so I wanted to say a shout out to Chima Mmeje because you mentioned FCDC just now, but it skipped my mind to say a shout out to her for the good work she does in this space, in the content writing marketing space. It's a whole lot of work, and we appreciate what she does because I'm also part of it. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
grateful for the exposure she gives us, and even the training and all the free resources, they matter. Okay, now I wanted to talk about have you ever, okay, sorry, if you're on this live stream and you are yet to subscribe, please hit the subscription button now. It takes less than a minute just now. Please do so because we got a lot of value for you coming. Even tomorrow, we got a chat with another speaker, and I'll drop the link in the description. So come back for more on the description. There is more coming your way. Do hit the subscription button because by the grace of the Almighty, I've got a network of writers. As a writer myself, and I can always bring them up to share out of their wealth of experience. So God bless you. Do subscribe and share this video with a friend who needs it. Okay, so I was going to go to the fact that have you ever dealt with a toxic client and how did you handle it?
No, I don't. I've been really lucky. I haven't. When I see stories and I'm like, oh my god, I have never dealt with a toxic client. So I might not really have much to say about that. All my clients have been
Awesome.
really, yeah. I've never had that
Awesome.
experience.
I'm glad you've never had. Okay, so then what role do you think mindset mastery plays in the process of becoming a successful content writer?
It has so much to play. You really need to work on your mindset. First of all, getting your jobs, in fact, putting yourself out there, you need to work on your mindset to tell yourself, oh, you can actually do it. And then payment when it comes to telling people putting your rates or trying to decide what to charge, you really need you really need to, have this mindset of, okay, I deserve this. I'll give you a story. There's this new person that came on board where I worked. He's a Nigerian. Somehow he stumbled on, the I think a vacancy. And then we met there, and I reached out to him. I always like to reach out to Nigerians wherever I am, where I work, and we are a minority. They always like to reach out to them. And then he had a payment problem, and he had not set up how to get paid. And I told him, okay, don't worry, I'll do the I'll do the invoice for you. I'll receive the money and I'll send it to you. And then he had written like 4 articles, and they were charging 150. And then he said, 150 times, well, that's a lot. Are you sure they will pay the money? And I'm like, why would they pay the money? You worked, right? You know, now at that point, he couldn't believe that he was going to be earning that much. Okay. And it happens to a lot of us, really. And if you continue that kind of mindset, you find out that you're going to lowball yourself in the industry. You're going to lowball yourself in the industry. So you're going to lowball yourself in the industry, okay? So you really need to have a mindset of, look, I'm going to get there. I'm going to go get the money, not just the experience. So when people ask you how much is your rate, don't be afraid to call a price. Don't be afraid to call a price. You can even put a range. Okay, if you're not sure, because I know the fear is, let me not go and call a rate that these people will run away and say, oh, I don't want to work with you. But again, I have noticed, I know very well that one time I sent my race to somebody and they never go back to me. And I believe that is because I lowballed myself. I believe so. So sometimes when you lowball yourself, you're like, this person is collecting this small amount. Are you sure they can actually do the job? So you need to strike a balance between, okay, you don't want to lose customer, you don't want to lose a prospective client because you are lowballing yourself or because you are charging too high. Okay. So you should maybe have a range and say, okay, I charge between this and this. That's a safer place. So when you say, oh, I charge between this and this, please, what is your budget? Okay. What is your budget? So that's it. So many times most people say, oh, okay, my budget is lower than what you offer. And it's fine. It's really, really fine. Okay. But there are people, I remember that I was on a call with somebody and he said, I said for a 1,000 word piece, I'm going to charge $400. And he said, okay. When I left that call, I was like, hey, are you sure that $400 is not too small? Because he just agreed. So it's like that, but it's a trial and error, it's a trial and error thing. But I just need you to know that don't just get stuck lowballing yourself. Over time, when you grow, you're definitely going to know what suits you because you're already a brand. And in fact, people will come looking for you to say, okay, I heard you did this for people. Can you do the same thing for me? Ob- Obviously, they've told him, oh, this is what she charges. Okay. So don't get stuck in one small amount, telling yourself, well, actually, I'm in Nigerian. Actually, $20 is 20,000 naira. No, when you start working, you realize that for you to make $100, you need to write 5 good articles, and you find out that it's not that easy. It's a mental task that that is really draining. So you need to understand that payment nuance and understand where you want to be over time as you grow.
I agree with you on that, and that means working on your mind to believe that you deserve it because our environment has done quite a number on our minds. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Because even when you want to work for Nigerian clients, they are pricing as if they are pricing tomato.
They are
And I'm
worse
like,
than they are so bad.
to the
It's
glory
so
of
bad.
God, I've not done work for any Nigerian brand because it infuriates me, to be honest, because they don't know the value of content. That's just it. And I
So
believe that we will grow. We will grow as a nation. We will grow as a continent. But part of the issues we are having was what you mentioned, which is on the writer, the Nigerian writer who didn't have a way to collect payments. Now, what payment methods do you think are available? Because somebody is on this call now, either as a Nigerian or African, who is asking, how do I get paid? I don't have PayPal. They don't accept PayPal in my country. You know, those kind of issues. What would you tell such a person to do?
okay, if you're a Nigerian, you can use Payoneer. However, Payoneer can be very expensive. You know, their rates are really crazy. It's just that I like them a lot because they have a certain backing I like. I just the security, I just feel they are really strong, and I won't wake up one day and say, oh well, your money is gone or anything like what happened with Gray. Was it not last year? Up until now, Gray has not been able to issue USD accounts. They closed down all USD accounts. So imagine I had money in Gray at the time, and I've lost that money. Now, Payoneer is a good one. Wise used to be really good, but again, Wise has really not been stable in Nigeria because of the many policies we have. So, is in I usually it's really not a good option, really. Then the only other option I think is for you to open a GetPay account or a Gray account. Any of them. Gray doesn't give USD, but they give GBP account right now. So it's just that you have to um what's it called? Transfer, not transfer, your exchange your money to dollar for you to get it into your bank account. So GetPay is good, but the only thing is you cannot save in dollars in GetPay. If saving in dollars is your goal, you cannot save in dollars. Another option is for you to say, okay, I have a DOM account. So can your client, if they are open to several payment methods, they can pay you with them this something like Western Union, but it is not Western Union. I've forgotten the name of this one. Remit, World Remit. World Remit, if you're in Nigeria. You can collect money for World Remit. Now, even Payoneer actually has the option of you withdrawing to your dorm account, but they're going to be charging, I think, $20. And I don't know, a lot of people are saying the banks do not really like pioneer funds getting into your account. So I don't know, you might risk some sort of penalty if you ever do that. Maybe I don't know what they will say, what they will do on your account. But I've never tried it, but I don't want money problems for myself. So I use Payoneer. So for me to get my money out of Payoneer, I linked it to a GetPay account. So I withdraw into a GetPay dollar account, then withdraw to my Naira account. That's what I do. Right now, I really don't know any other way to get paid right now. Except right, I don't even know if Wise is working right now. I don't know if Wise is working.
I
I
hear
don't.
why it's disabled the operations for Nigerians. I don't know if it's true because I wasn't actively using it at the time. I still have the account, but like you said, I use Payoneer. Sometimes, not always. I use this Upwork, but the charges are there. Sometimes I use the domiciliary accounts.
Okay.
I have never had to use Western Union or any, but I know it's an option too. So if you are
Yeah.
watching us as a Nigerian African, these are options you can explore to receive payments internationally, even if you don't have PayPal. Okay, so because of time, I want to quickly ask two more questions and we round off. With advancements in AI and other writing technologies, do you think content writers still stand a chance to be hired?
Absolutely, they do. Okay, when AI came out last year, ChatGPT, we had this buzz of, oh, people are dropping writers. They were actually dropping writers. Publications were dropping writers and replacing them with AI. But down the line, that is towards the end of last year, we found out that they were hiring again. They were hiring writers back. Why? Because they realized that humanness was not there in their content. So that's why I tell people you can actually use AI and still have all that humanness intact. But you need to learn how to use the AI correctly. For instance, you shouldn't allow AI churn out statistics for you or churn out, informational content informations are not verifiable. Like you need to verify all your informations and feed the AI with those things for it to give you what you want. Don't tell the AI to give you those things. No, you have to do your research and feed the AI with those things. AI is garbage in, garbage out. So whatever you give the AI is what it will give you. So you cannot be careless with it, and that's why you see that top publications were making silly errors. Why? Because they left it all to AI to do. So now they have to start rehiring writers. I know AI might get to that point where they might not need humans again, but it is not tomorrow. It is going to happen. It is not even next year. I am quite sure. So AI has not really advanced to that stage where it doesn't need humans. So they always need humans. So it's a collaborative thing. So I believe that writers that are outstanding and they are good definitely gets to be hired, irrespective of whether AI is booming or not. I know there are still publications and there are still marketing people who would want, in fact, especially in marketing, you're not selling to machines, you're selling to humans. So how can you allow AI do all the work for you? It's not possible. They don't know the pain points of your customers or your consumers or your readers. So I believe that definitely humans, especially when it even comes to strategy, for instance. So they'll always need human writers. They always need human writers, really.
Awesome. Okay, so I wanted to also ask, which means that your take on AI for writing is a no-no. You can use it for research,
Yeah. You can use it
but
for
write.
writing. It's impossible for you to leave all the writing to AI, really, because many times what AI would give you is like a bare bone of what you need. I need to do a lot of reworking. In fact, when you start reworking, you start reworking usually. So what I usually do is this: I actually would write for myself first, then tell the AI to analyze what I have written and say, okay, are there gaps? Because this is how I'll tell it to analyze. After I finish writing, I give it back to it. I tell it, look, read this thing through. this is what I want and this is what I want. Does it meet these criteria? I want it to be informal. I want it to be conversational. I want it to be this. Just tell it all the things you really want the write up to be, and then it can now suggest to you how to rephrase certain things. That's how to use AI.
Awesome. So basically, what we are coming out with is that as a writer, it's not just enough for you to write. Learn how to use AI, learn SEO, learn strategy, learn complementary skills that you can offer as a total package to anybody that approaches you to write for them. And so definitely your money will be higher than if you were just writing. And of course, they won't have to bring in someone else because you can offer all that as a package. And I believe that is a good one if we can do that as content writers in 2024, because that is the way to go. And of course, focus on your marketing. Nobody will toot your horn for you, like you always say. And I want to end this way by saying that, by asking you that, if you are a Christian, you talked about modesty. We are taught to be modest, right? But self-marketing doesn't require modesty.
At
Seriously.
all. It doesn't. You're right. I struggled with it a lot when I came. I still struggle with it. You notice I don't say so much on my LinkedIn now. So the thing is, I know everything has its excesses. There are people who have excesses on LinkedIn. Like sometimes you just have to strike the. But I don't want to say they are lying, right? But some things they do, something they lie that they are really not believable. Okay, so I don't want to be that kind of person who claims what they are not. So I always say it, be real, be original, like say how it is. If I wanted to share anything on LinkedIn, I always like to share my downfalls, my failures, my successes, things I struggle with. Because really, growing a career is not easy. It's not always it's not always a bright. There are bright sides and there are very dark sides to it. And I find that people always talk about their bright sides and even sometimes exaggerate their bright sides. So it's what I really don't want to do. That's why I always focus on sending cover letters and improving my CVs. Yes. So, but it is okay to toot your horn. Like, okay, this year, last year, I had little, and I came online to say, oh, this is it, or this is it. I professionally, I actually had a huge leap last year. Okay, so just share whatever it is true. Don't overdo it, don't exaggerate it, because a lot of people will say fake it till you make it. I really don't buy that. Really, I really don't buy that. Just say it as it is. That is just what I decided to do, because that's the only way I can be modest and not go overboard.
I get it, and I'm so grateful for this conversation we have had this afternoon. It's been enlightening, empowering, and mindset reshaping too for someone out there who believes he or she has to be modest about promoting. Go out and promote yourself. This
Yeah,
is
well, yeah, if
2024.
you have achievements, successes, talk about them. Talk about if you have moved the needle wherever you have worked. Use that needle that you have used, and that needle you've moved. There, you need to make like 20 content if you have the time, like from different angles. As long as you are real, you are being real, and you're not lying, you're not making it up. That's fine.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time, Amaka. And if you have questions in the house, please put them in the chat box. I can see someone else, Bianca Creed or so. I hope I mentioned your name right. You are welcome to this live stream. And if you've got questions, please post them in the chat box. Otherwise, leave a comment after watching for those that will watch the replay, because the replay will be on YouTube for you to watch and watch and watch till you also succeed. And like I always say, make 2024 count, make your life count. And we look forward to make 2025 count, where you will come on stage and also testify that you were part of make 2024 count, and this was what you were able to achieve. And that is why we are bringing experienced people like Amaka, who has given us 1 hour of her time. Her time is valuable, but she's decided to do this because she believes in empowering upcoming writers. And so take advantage of the knowledge we have shared. Don't just watch, don't just listen, do something with the knowledge. Apply it for results. And if you are yet to subscribe, please hit the subscription button now. We love to have you as part of the House of Wisdom community. We are big on community, and transformation is at the heart of what we do. And so hit the subscription button, share this video with a friend. Don't go without sharing. God bless you. Thanks for being a part of this live stream today. We have another live stream tomorrow. I'll drop the link in the description. Come back for more, because there is more, and you can be more than you currently are. You can do more, you can be more. 2024 can be your best year, but the decision lies with you. And so do something with this knowledge, and we are here, we will be here cheering you on. And like Amaka said, don't give up. Please, Amaka, before you go, can you just let us know how people can reach you on social media?
Okay, you can actually reach me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, Amaka Chukwuma. I have Jubilee in brackets. So just type Amaka Chukwuma, and just Amaka Chukwuma. You're definitely going to find me. But I have Jubilee in brackets. So that's me if you see Jubilee in brackets, because that's my English name.
Do you also have a closing remark?
Okay, so really, it's just about what I've said. You have no option. Don't give in. Don't give up. Just keep going. Look for possibilities everywhere. Find opportunities you see. Join communities. Communities are very important. If you have opportunities to get a mentor, please find a mentor for yourself, because that is also something that helped me. I got mentored by someone along the line. Even when I started, I had to get a mentor. So get a mentor. It's very, very important. And of course, free resources like this, jump on webinars, jump on live sessions, they help a lot, because they help to shape your mindset. Because it is really not, it's not an easy journey to be a freelancer or a remote worker. It is not. And finding your way, it's really difficult. So it's a lonely journey. So that sense of community is very important. Reach out if you need help. So ask questions. I'll definitely be open to answering your questions on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much. It's been a powerful session, and we wish you the very best today and beyond. And we look forward to celebrating you more and more, because we know that as you are sowing into other people's lives, your own life will also be moving forward. God bless you, and warm regards. Thank you for joining this live stream. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye. God bless you. And please note that you can do it. And we love you in House of Wisdom. We want the best for you. Bye-bye.
Bye.